Hey, what's up guys? Probably not me, favorite YouTuber here. Welcome to another just quick little ramble video. Yes, I did just get out of the shower. And to anyone who's wondering what happened to my little video, that was nothing. Of just me recording the theater reactions to Spider-Man No Way Home, those big reveals. It got a copyright strike. Not just a claim, a freaking strike. One of those things where if I get 3 of them in the course of 90 days, my channel gets freaking deleted. So, wow, okay. Like, I don't think it was really worth that. I mean, there are freaking people everywhere posting those reactions. I don't see why my video has to get blown up. Maybe the others are getting blown up too. I have no idea. I find it weird. I thought that you could only get a copyright strike if you like straight up uploaded the entirety of like the entire. But then that made me think, well, like if you like upload the entirety of the movie minus a second, obviously that could also be a copyright strike. So maybe it's because that. It's not necessarily that I showed 100% of the movie, it's just the movie was being shown for 100% of the video. Maybe that was it, I don't know. Point is, this is the reaction that they had when, AG, is that something that I can say? When he showed up. Here's the reaction when TM showed up. That's all that was supposed to come out of the video, just those stupid reactions. Anyway, so, I just want to say, Spider-Man No Way Home, I'm so glad that movie happened and I'm so glad that it's doing well. I feel like a lot of good and a lot of bad can come out of this, because when the Avengers first came out, it inspired everybody. Every movie industry out there to start making cinematic universes and start making movies with different characters and then have them all come together. Spider-Man No Way Home is the next phase of that now. And now I can just imagine how stressed out movie industries must be now, where they feel the need to make a few movies and then on purposely cancel it just so that they can reboot it, do another few movies, and then cancel that on purpose, reboot it again, make another few movies, and then have a huge multiverse crossover, as if that's now the template on how to get people into this, like, I don't know. But honestly, I just really like the idea of not just the multiverse, not just everything, but I like the idea, I feel like this is the birth, and this might not happen till like centuries down the line, but I feel like this is the start of all movies that have ever existed truly coming together. Because like I know that sounds ridiculous, but like, I remember like, in this documentary from the National Film Registry, they said that movies, as we know them, are essentially the family album of humanity, you know? Like, most movies are fiction. There are, of course, some documentaries out there and stuff like that, but the point is that, like, people will most likely look back on movies and stuff like that to get a better understanding of how our generation worked. And I'm not saying that they're going to watch fictional movies and assume that it's literally what happened. I think they'll clearly be able to tell, if not just from historical records, they'll be able to probably just deduce it themselves that they were very clearly just made by other humans for entertainment. But it'll still give them an idea, like from what the characters say and do, it'll give them an idea of what our generations thought, like what our potential was and all that, what our limits were and stuff like that. And I just really like the idea that now we're really starting to bring movies together, you know? I can just imagine the frickin' Planes, Trains, and Automobiles reboot with Kevin Hart and Will Smith, where they just for absolutely no reason have a multiverse crossover with the original and get whatever frickin' cast they can out of that. Like, I don't know. But anyway, something that I really like always looking back on, I have it literally right here on my TV, right here, is the 60s Batman TV show. That is great. There are so many things. Literally every single scene has at least one thing that can be made fun of. Sorry, Inspector, don't have the time. Make it later. You can just tell off the inspector like that? When I first got the movie on Blu-ray, I thought that this was it. I didn't even know that there was a TV show. And I love the movie so much I literally couldn't help myself. So I just bought, I kind of wish I just bought the Blu-ray set, but like, here's season 1, season 3, season 2 part 2, season 2 part 1. Yeah, I keep my DVDs out of order. I don't, but it wouldn't even matter if I did. But like, anyway, I really like that TV show. I even got the frickin' comic book continuation that was made like last decade. I want to say a few years ago, but honestly, it was like last decade. It's hard to imagine. Like, I literally like am saying like I have to say in conversation back in the early 2010s. It doesn't sound right, but like, anyway. Something that I do kind of feel bad about is the fact that, of course, Adam West is now dead. And I feel kind of rotten about that, too, because I'm thinking I probably wouldn't really care if Adam West was dead if he didn't play 60s Batman. And I feel bad about that, but at the same time, people are like that now. I don't get why people are so obsessed with not recasting Black Panther. Hot take, I know. But, like, Chadwick Boseman was like a guy. He wasn't just the guy who played Black Panther. It's not like if you recast Black Panther, you're somehow undoing the legacy of everything that Chadwick Boseman ever did in his entire life. I think that that's very like a very like just small and shallow way to look at actors, you know? And I've just been thinking for a long time, like, now that Spider-Man No Way Home has done a lot, and I feel really bad that the Flash movie is coming out after it, because DC is also already planning to do that. They're bringing in Michael Keaton's Batman, and hopefully they'll because there are really there are three big Spider-Man out there, you know, Spider-Man No Way Home. We have TM, AG, and TH, I guess. And I guess there's like old Spider-Man too, like there's the freaking movies in the 70s, there's Japanese Spider-Man, there's the Spider-Man in Into the Spider-Verse, there's Venom, there's the old cartoons back in the days. And Batman and Superman have a lot of reincarnations as well, and I feel like DC is now going to feel the need to really go all out, and because DC really has more potential to do this multiverse thing than even Marvel or any other movie industry out there, to my knowledge, because DC has rebooted themselves so many times. The problem is that if you want to bring in characters from other reboots of shows, you're going to feel the need to bring in the actual actors who played them. Christopher Reeve is well known for playing Superman in the 70s and 80s, and he passed away. He played an entirely different character in 2 episodes of Smallville. But we do have Brandon Routh, who played Superman in Superman Returns and even came back for that Crisis on Infinite Earths thing. So really DC was the first one to do this multiverse thing. It's just they did it on the small screen and Marvel did it on the big screen first, so whatever. DC also did it for multiple characters, Marvel did it. But the thing is that, okay, I am so happy that they did this if the alternative was doing literally nothing. But in the big DC Crisis on Infinite Earths Arrowverse show, why does it have to be part of the Arrowverse? But anyway, I loved that they had little brief cameos of Burt Ward, who played Robin in the 60s show, just walking down the street and saying, "Holy crimson skies of death!" And I loved how they had just like a small clip of Knox, of all people, from the 89 Batman movie. Just saying, "Big guy, I hope you're out there." Those cameos didn't have to be there. Like, literally nothing would change if they weren't there. I am glad that they were there. I do kind of wish that since they bothered to bring in the actors at all, that they played a larger role and at least interacted with some of the characters a little bit to make it feel a little bit more like a multiverse. But whatever. And now that we are actually making the 89 Batman movies canon and bringing them into the newer movies, that just gets me thinking, like, I wish that they would really do some big final send-off payoff for the 60s Batman, you know? I'm always ticked off that they never bring back William Russell playing Ian Chesterton. He's 97 now. Honestly, I feel bad for saying this, but probably any chance of being able to actually do anything with him is really just going away with every day that passes by, and one day he is going to die, of course, and then that's done. Big Finish did something with him. I don't know. But anyway, I've been really thinking, how could they bring back the 60s Batman for one last hurrah? Well, if we look at the fact that Adam West is dead and the girl who played Batgirl is dead, and I didn't bother to Google it, but I assume Commissioner Gordon and Chief O'Hara are also dead. If not, they're probably really old and probably couldn't realistically do anything. But the fact that we saw Burt Ward, the fact that he can still act, and the fact that he literally can still make his voice sound like Rob. Not that that even matters, but I'm just thinking, how cool would it be? Because the 60s Batman show is so well known for being ridiculous. For example, it's ridiculous that the Riddler, like, I don't even get what the Riddler is. I'm hoping that this new incarnation of the Riddler in this new Batman movie that's coming out, I hope that that gets me to understand what the heck he is. But I don't get how or why a villain would ever leave riddles that if you manage to solve them, you figure out what his plan is. I mean, I guess it really is just that his mind is twisted and that he doesn't find any fun in crimes unless it means outwitting Batman. Which just feels like such an insult to the nature of criminals, as if criminals commit, like criminals in the real world, as if they actually commit crimes for fun rather than out of desperate need. But anyway, like desperate need to like feed themselves and feed others around them and stuff like that. I don't get why people always say that. Like whenever people are trying to justify other people and their jobs and stuff like that, they're just like, what if they were just doing that job to feed their starving child? And I'm just like, what if they were doing the job just to feed themselves? Why do they have to have a kid? I don't know. But like, anyway, so Burt Ward is still alive, and I was just thinking, because the riddles in the '60s Batman show are ridiculous. There are so many riddles where the way that Batman and Robin solve them is just so off the charts and clearly doesn't make a single ounce of sense. There's literally a scene where after they solve the riddle, Batman literally goes, "Precisely, Robin, the only possible explanation," which is meant to be a self-aware joke that the riddle could have meant anything, but they just came up with that and happened to be right. So I'm just thinking, how cool would it be if, like, for whatever reason, like maybe the Riddler in the new movies or whatever, leaves a riddle that's literally impossible to solve and literally could mean anything. So the characters, out of a desperate attempt to figure out the riddle, visit the '60s Batman universe and get help from Burt Ward as Robin, because he's literally the only person left in the multiverse who's capable of solving a riddle like that. I think that'd be cool. I don't know what you guys think, but I'm just thinking, like, if they were going to try anything, that would be what I would do. And then after that, why don't we just recast them? Like, I know that everyone hates recasting, but, like, the actors and characters are different things. I feel incredibly terrible for saying this, but I almost feel like it's kind of wrong to pretend like we care about actors so much if the only reason that we actually care about them is because of the characters that they play. And I'm not saying that any of you guys who don't want Chadwick Boseman who don't want Black Panther to be recast, I'm not saying like you don't care about Chadwick Boseman, you're just pretending to. I'm not saying that. I'm just like, I don't know. I feel like any way that I try to say this is just destined to be able to be manipulated. But, like, recasting is a thing that happens. It happened in the frickin' 90s Batman movie. They recast Batman twice. They had frickin' Val Kilmer and George Clooney take over from Michael Keaton. Now they're bringing Michael Keaton back and just apparently ignoring those two movies, I guess. Doctor Who, they recast the main character every couple of years, and they actually have the recasting tied into the narrative. They have it that every time the Doctor dies, he regenerates and comes back looking like a different person. I don't know. I think it would be really cool if we actually did try to bring '60s Batman back. I feel like it might just be a failed attempt and would only last a season, but that's why I say we don't necessarily have to bring it back as the show. We could just bring it back and have the characters interact in the actual universe, you know? Because I feel like '60s Batman is like the world and the characters, their outfits are so recognizable that you don't really need to have the original actors in order to get people to recognize. It's not like Spider-Man No Way Home, where unless if you see AG or TM's face, you'll be like, who the heck is this guy? Because '60s Batman, all you have to do is make an outfit, make a set that looks like '60s Batman, and we should be able to get it. Isn't there like a rumor that season 4 of '60s Batman never happened because the Batcave set burned down and they just decided, okay, screw it, bunch of quitters. I told my mom about that and she just said, well, they're a bunch of quitters. They gave up because the Batcave set went down. But you know, I think it'd be cool if they tried to rebuild that, kind of right a wrong in the history of '60s Batman. I don't know. I'm just talking. This video is probably already so long and boring and everyone's already stopped watching it, but like, is that honestly an opportunity that we want to throw away? Like, could you imagine how great it would be if, like, we have current day Batman, even though with the way DC movies are right now, we have no idea who's playing Batman and literally no idea who's playing Superman. But, like, who's playing Batman? Is it Ben Affleck, Robert Pattinson, Michael Keaton, or is this all just, are they all just having a whole bunch of different people playing the same character so that we can just have this multiverse crossover out of nowhere? I guess it's kind of nowhere, but why are we not doing like a celebration of all the old shows? Why are we? I know that was Crisis on Infinite Earths, but anyway, point is, whoever is playing modern day Batman, we set him up as this huge mastermind. Nothing gets past him, and then he goes and meets '60s Batman, who's capable of solving things out of nowhere based on like zero logic. And then current day Batman's like, how the frick did you figure that out? You didn't even like, that's like a random guess, basically. And '60s Batman is like, what are you talking about, my kind alternate self, sir? I sound like Alfred now. I don't know. You know what I'm saying, right? I don't know. That was my little ramble. A little ramble of probably just saying nothing, but I'm just saying my own thoughts, and I hope that some of you guys maybe agree. If some of you guys disagree, then feel free to dislike the video, not that it'll do anything anymore. But still leave a comment down below on what your criticisms are, you know? So I can improve for next time. Otherwise, I will just treat your non-existent dislike as if it were a like. And subscribe so that you know when next video comes out. I guess. If you want. I don't know. See you next time, guys. Bye-bye.